Good afternoon. Welcome to Oldham County Fiscal Court. My name is Steve Greenwell, District 4 Magistrate, and I'm sitting in for Judge Vogel, who couldn't make it here today. Would everyone that is able please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I forgot to mention the date. It is October 15, 2019. Sheila, would you please call the roll?
Magistrate Likens.
Here.
Magistrate Tice.
Here.
Magistrate Harrison. Here. Magistrate Greenwell.
Here.
Magistrate Hounds.
Here.
Magistrate Hawkins. Here. Magistrate Dye.
Here.
Magistrate Logsdon.
Here.
And Judge Vogel.
There being 8 of the 9 members of Fiscal Court present, there's enough for a meeting. Need a motion for the approval of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor of the agenda as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Sheila, if you would please read the minutes from the meeting on October the 1st, 2019.
October 1st, 2019. The Oldham County Fiscal Court convened at a regular meeting at 2 p.m. with Judge Executive David Vogel, County Attorney John Carter, and the following magistrates in attendance: Brent Likens, Wayne Tice, Albert Harrison, Steve Greenwell, Chris Hounds, Stephanie Hawkins, Bob Dye, and Michael Logsdon. Motion made by Magistrate Dye, seconded by Magistrate Hounds to approve the agenda. Motion carried unanimously. Judge Vogel offered his condolences to the family of Charles Botorf. A moment of silence was observed in memory of Mr. Botorf. Approval of minutes. Motion made by Magistrate Dye, seconded by Magistrate Hounds to approve the meeting minutes from September 17th. Motion carried unanimously. Public comment. Becky Zocklin announced the county's annual Household Hazardous Waste Collection event Saturday, October 19th from 9 to 3 at the fairgrounds. She introduced Todd Prayer, who on behalf of Republic Services donated $1,000 to the Leaders Don't Litter campaign. Albert Harrison expressed his concerns of a scam involving persons going door to door, offering to seal driveways with leftover asphalt and urging homeowners to pay up front to receive a deal. The county requires solicitors to obtain a peddler's license from the police department. Suspicious activity should be reported to the police department. Payables. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell, seconded by Magistrate Tice to approve the payables. Motion carried unanimously. Contract agreements and resolutions. Resolution KYTC Supplemental Agreement Number 4 for the Kentucky 1793 Sidewalk Project. Motion made by Magistrate Likens and seconded by Magistrate Harrison to authorize the Judge Executive to sign Resolution Number 01-10-0119 and Supplemental Agreement Number 4 with KYTC relating to the Kentucky 1793 Sidewalk Project. Motion carried 8-1. Magistrate Tice voted no. Motorola Maintenance Agreement Extension for the 800 radio system. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Tice to authorize the Judge Executive to sign the extended Motorola Solutions Agreement for the maintenance and service of the 800 radio system at dispatch. Motion carried unanimously. CPC Inmate Telephone Service Agreement, Addendum A. Motion made by Judge Vogel, seconded by Magistrate Harrison to authorize the judge to sign the service agreement addendum extension with Combined Public Communications relating to inmate telecommunications as submitted. Discussion followed. Judge Vogel stated his motion is withdrawn. Magistrate Harrison agreed to withdraw his second. Thus, a motion is withdrawn. Committee recommendations and reports. Road Committee, Erosion Control Bond Release, Ballard Glen, Section 3. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell, seconded by Magistrate Logsdon, upon the recommendation of the county engineer to release the $58,500 erosion control bond relating to Ballard Glen, Section 3 residential development. Motion carried unanimously. Performance bond release for Grand Oak Section 2B. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds, seconded by Magistrate Greenwell, upon the recommendation of the county engineer to release the $13,000 performance bond relating to Grand Oaks Section B. Motion carried unanimously. Performance bond release for Grand Oaks Section 3. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds, seconded by Magistrate Greenwell, upon the recommendation of the county engineer to release the $34,000 performance bond relating to Grand Oaks Section 3. Motion carried unanimously. Public comment, none. Announcements. Magistrate Dye reminds the community to keep valuables stored out of sight in a vehicle's trunk and to keep car doors locked. Magistrate Howland said due to severe drought conditions, the county is now under a total burn ban order until further notice. The only exception to this ban is the use of a gas or charcoal grill. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Fire Prevention Awareness, and Fire Prevention Memorial Month. Magistrate Harrison reported the complaints concerning the road approaching the 524 bridge have been corrected. A private boat remains submerged underwater at the Westport Boat Dock, and the bridge on 1488 will be closed for repairs starting October 7th for estimated 60 days. October 13th is the birthday of the U.S. Navy. Magistrate Tice reminded drivers to be mindful of extra cars on the roads due to school drop-off and pickup now that school started. Road and parking lot congestion is likely during these times. Please be patient. Magistrate Likens announced Creasy Mayhan is hosting its annual Haunted Hike October 6th from 3 to 7. Judge Vogel shared the following, provided an overview of Governor Bevan's visit to the John Black Community Center September 30th, where statewide and county issues were discussed in a Q&A type format. KYTC started work on its project at Exit 22, which will add additional turn lanes in both directions onto Highway 53 from the northbound off-ramp. Projected completion date is spring 2020, but possibly sooner. A committee has been formed to review existing planning and zoning, engineering, and bonding processes in relation to new development in the county. The committee is headed by Deputy Judge Kevin Nuss, and will include some members of county staff, magistrates, builders, developers, and architects. They will meet to assess the county's current ordinances, regulations, and internal procedures to help identify areas that need updated or improved upon. Motion made by Magistrate Dye, seconded by Magistrate Greenwell to adjourn the meeting. Motion carried unanimously. The meeting was adjourned at 3:30.
Thank you, Sheila. You all have heard the minutes from the October the 1st meeting. Are there any corrections or additions? Seeing no hands, is there a motion to approve them as read?
Second.
Got motion, second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. 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 Opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, we're down to public comment, and is there anybody here in the public that would like to come forward and speak for up to 4 minutes? Becky Zocklin is here to talk to us about household hazardous waste, I bet.
That's correct.
Collection. Yes.
Thank you, magistrates, and thank you for this opportunity to remind the public about the household hazardous waste event. It will be held this Saturday at the fairgrounds from 9 to 3 p.m. The list that you see on your screen is also on the solid waste website of all the information that, or all the materials that will be collected. This is paid for by a state grant, and it is matched with county employee time. So we look forward to seeing you. And I appreciate also all the magistrates getting the word out to their constituents. It's a welcome publicity.
So it starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and likely ends at 3 p.m. or until people quit coming, one or the other.
Right.
Okay, but it
Right.
likely goes till the full time, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, it
Okay.
goes the full time.
all right.
Yes, there's no closing early.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Judge, could you
Yes.
give the address of the fairgrounds in case somebody new might not know where it is?
I have here 2401 West Highway 146.
Thank you, yes.
Okay, all right.
Right.
Any other questions, Magistrate?
Di?
Yes.
Becky, it says no out-of-county residents. How are you checking that?
I check license, driver's license. I check license plates.
Okay.
Now, I know not all plates have, Oldham stickers on them. I went through that myself.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure that we're policing it in some way. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Plus, there's a lot of commercial plates and farm plates, and they don't have a county designation on them, so the driver's
Right.
license is the way to go, I think.
Yes, and the way I count is by, I count zip codes. So I see who's coming from what part of the county,
Okay.
so.
Okay, Becky, case in point, if somebody lives at 6350 South Highway 53, Smithfield, Kentucky, what are you going to do in that case? They are an Oldham County resident.
Right. It'll say Steve Greenwell.
You're going to have to make a good, they're going to have to make a good case, aren't they?
Yeah,
And that's
well, but your driver's license will say the county that you live in. I believe it does.
Well, I hope so.
We can all check them.
But I mean, there's two
Yeah.
neighborhoods in Battlesville that, you know, are decent-sized subdivisions, and they have Smithfield addresses. so-
Right, and there's, in Willow Creek
Right, same thing.
is same
yes.
thing, so there's a
Prospect
lot
and
of,
Glen Oaks and Mosier Farms.
Right,
right. We have a lot of borderline
Okay.
communities, so
right. Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
I see Mike Meese from the Sheriff's Department approaching, probably to talk about a drug take-back, maybe.
How are you all today?
Doing well, thank you.
We wanted to let the community know that on October the 26th, which is not this Saturday, but Saturday next, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., in joint partnership with the DEA, the Oldham County Police Department and Oldham County Sheriff's Office will be conducting a joint take-back event. We'll have 3 locations this year, the first being LaGrange Fire Station 2 in Buckner, the second being the North Oldham Fire Department on 1793, which is located across from the old North Oldham High School, and then the third will be the Oldham County Police Department on 393. Residents can leave the pills in the original containers. They basically go straight into the box and into the incinerator. They're welcome to mark off personal information if they desire, but it's not necessary. We will not be accepting liquids or needles. That's per DEA guideline. But last year, again, we had one of our largest years as far as pounds turned in. And just to remind residents that, you know, many of these drugs that are flushed down the commode go straight into our water supply, not to mention still the continuing opioid crisis in the state. So let's all work together to try and curb many problems on the fronts, so.
Mike, if somebody shows up with a Ziploc and it's got pills in it, don't know what they are or anything like that, you still take those?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, they'll all be properly incinerated at an EPA-approved
But they don't
site.
have to be in the original container?
No, sir.
Okay. Anybody got any questions of Deputy Mike Meese?
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Seeing no one else, we're going to move on to county administration. We have some budget transfers to talk about, and Melissa Horn is going to talk to us about this.
Good afternoon. We're at the end of the first quarter. And at this time, I am requesting 6 budget line item transfers totaling $88,278.
Has anybody, you all have had since Friday to look at this, has anybody got any questions about it or anything like that?
I'll make a motion that we approve this.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the budget transfers. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, it passes. Next,
I also need you to approve transfers between our funds. As you know, we run one checking account for operating expenses out of the general fund. All the other funds, we try to maintain a zero bank balance, so we'll have money transferring back and forth between those funds. So at the end of the first quarter, I need funds to transfer of a net number of $474,915.80.
I need a motion to get this approved also.
Yes.
Second.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion about this? Seeing none, all those please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you very much, Melissa. Motion carries. Next on our agenda is the payables. Had these also since Friday, so I'll take a motion to approve the payables whenever you're ready. Motion by Magistrate Logston, second. Second by Magistrate Dye to approve the payables as presented. Any discussion on this? Mr. Likens, do you have anything about that? Oh. Anybody got anything they want to say about the payables? If not, all those in favor of paying the payables, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Yes. I got a motion from Michael. Yes. Motion carries. Next, we're back to a first reading of the fiscal year 1920 budget amendment. Melissa, here she is again.
Here I am again. This budget amendment is necessary because we are taking funds that are designated in our reserves for federal drug enforcement, and the police have asked to use $19,538.50 of those reserve funds to purchase various equipment for drug enforcement. So this would be the first reading of ordinance KOC 19-220-14, which says, whereas the County of Oldham has used reserve funds from federal drug forfeitures to purchase new law enforcement equipment, be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of Oldham County, Commonwealth of Kentucky, that the budget transfer will increase the receipts to the police fund by $19,538.50 and will also increase the expenditure account by the same amount. And the second reading of this will be November the 5th.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. This is the first reading. We're not really supposed to discuss it to any extent, so we'll save all that for the November the 5th meeting, is that correct? And talk about it then. Thank you very much. Next, we have contract agreements and resolutions. DLZ contract change, reallocation of design funds, Old Floydsburg Road project. Belinda, would you like to talk to us about this?
Yes, sir. This is a change to the current agreement with DLZ for the Old Floydsburg Road project. In November of 2017, Fiscal Court entered a supplemental agreement with DLZ for $50,260 for geotechnical work and $34,950 for an archaeological study using federal funds with toll credits as the required local match. The archaeological study used the full amount under the contract, but the cost of the geotechnical work was less than anticipated and was completed for $38,909.63, leaving $11,352.37 in the contract. We would like to expand the scope of this agreement with DLZ to include preparation of bid documents, permits, and some additional design-related tasks. And to do this, we would like to reallocate the $11,352.37 that was left from the geotechnical work in the agreement and use it to pay for this new scope. And again, this project is federally funded and has toll credits as the match, and all of the funding is authorized, available in place, all of that. Does that make sense?
Yes. So you didn't quite use all the 50,000, so that left 11,000 and some change.
Right.
And you want to reallocate that to the design phase, or?
Yeah, it would still be under the design phase, but basically we'd be using that money to prepare bid documents, to help us with bid review, for the permitting process, and just for some other tasks that they've had to undertake. They had to do some erosion control measures that were recommended by the Army Corps, and they had to make some plan changes due to the recommendations that came out of the geotechnical study.
Okay.
So we would like to use this money that's already under contract, just change the scope of the existing contract to include that work. But the cost would remain the same that was already approved.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Magistrate Harrison, second by Magistrate Helms, to allow the judge to sign the agreement with DLZ. Discussion. Magistrate Hawkins.
Is this DLZ any relation to the Exit 14 DLZ? Isn't that the name of the architect company?
No, that's DPZ,
Okay,
and they're architects. These are engineers. They're out of Frankfurt.
thank you.
This isn't going to be like the park and ride. This project seems to be going on and on.
It has been going for a little while,
Yeah.
but I expect good results out of this. As with all of them, it's just a matter of the timing of it. Magistrate Lawson, did you have something?
I was just going to ask, when is the start date? Do you have any idea?
I think once we have the funding and get the bid documents in place, we'll get the funding authorized. The funding is waiting for us to be authorized by the Transportation Cabinet. So I would say we'll probably bid it in the spring and start construction in the summer. Would you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So less than a year, possibly, we might get started.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's a very realistic
Okay.
scenario.
All right. All right, we have a motion on the floor and a second to allow the judge to sign this agreement with DLZ. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Belinda. Next, we have a cleaning contract for the fiscal court building. Rodney Gabbard is going to talk to us about this.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I would like to just reinstate a further contract with Dorota. She's doing a very good job, and her contract is up, and I would just like to renew it.
Okay.
Basically, the gist of it.
She has been doing satisfactory service, and is the amount of money changing or anything like that?
It has gone up $1,500.
On up $1,500. Did we anticipate this? Is it in the budget?
I did budget for it.
Good deal.
Yes.
All right. Need a motion to this effect to do this contract?
So moved.
Brent, was that you? Okay, second? Michael? Any discussion on this? This is a contract to clean the fiscal court building. If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? It passes.
Thank
Sir, I
you.
got a question.
Yes,
Does she do the other buildings?
No.
Okay.
just this one.
Yeah, she just does this building.
Does she do the courthouse across the street?
No,
Okay,
another company.
okay, all right.
Have we thought about getting them all in one, or is
I-
this is all she can handle?
That's all she could do because the other's during the day, and she cleans at night.
Okay.
So that's all she could do.
Okay, Rodney, thank you. Next on the list is the committee recommendations and reports. Road Committee, seems as though we took care of the erosion control and all that last month, but forgot to accept the roads into the county road system. So County Engineer Jim Silliman, talk us through this, please.
That's correct. So at the two previous, most recent fiscal court meetings, performance bonds for several roads were released. However, procedurally, they also require a motion to accept the roads into the road system. So today, we're just coming back for the formality of asking for a motion, and I'll list these specifically so they're read into the minutes, please.
Please do.
So Poplar Woods Drive, starting at Poplar Ridge Road, is approximately 1,410 feet. Then about 1,230 feet of Poplar Woods Drive from Poplar Woods, 950 feet of Grand Oaks Drive, starting at Grand Oaks Drive, 600 feet of Oak Shade Court, starting at Grand Oaks Drive, 482 feet of Wooded Oak Lane, starting at Grand Oaks Drive, 629 feet of Glory View Court, starting at Glory View Drive, and lastly, 1,689 feet of Glory View Drive, starting at Grand Oaks Drive. Again, we're requesting a motion for those streets to be accepted into the county road system.
So moved.
Second.
So moved, motion by Magistrate Harrison and a second by Chris? Okay, Magistrate Downs. Any discussion on this? Michael?
I'm just wondering, why are some of the right-of-ways different, 60 feet versus 50 feet? Why aren't they uniform throughout the county?
It could be whether it's curbed or uncurbed street. A street with a ditch section would require a little more right-of-way, so.
Excuse me, Jim, it used to be on the cul-de-sacs, depending on the length of them, we could drop down to 50.
Cul-de-sacs could vary also.
Yeah, I think that's what these are showing.
Any more questions? Magistrate Hawkins?
Mr. Silliman, a question for you regarding bringing for example, you knew I was going to ask this, how can we get Sunset Drive brought into the county roadway system?
Well, typically, so what's required to bring a private road into the county road system, the owner would need to request out of the fiscal court, and then we would need to investigate and make sure that these right-of-ways and pavement sections meet the county standard before accepting them into the system. Once that's done, then we can go through the procedure of accepting it. However, typically in a lot of cases, there's not the available right-of-way, or the private drive wasn't constructed to the county standards, whether it's because the asphalt thickness isn't the same and they might not want to go to the expenditure to have that established. In the case of Sunset Drive, I can give you some more information outside of the meeting if you'd like with regard to the past ownership that we've been looking into that street.
The road committee has been looking into this
Yes.
street in question. And it's not that it couldn't be brought up to county standards, but it's going to take a lot of doing and a lot of money, I think, to do this in this case. And Jim, I have a question. You talk about the right-of-way. This road goes across a dam, doesn't it?
That's correct.
So what do you do about the right-of-way on the lakeside? Just claim it, or?
I guess you'd claim it.
Okay.
But again, that goes back to, in this case, there's some past ownership issues that we'd have to address.
Yes.
So in this case, it's not just one owner that has a private road that they want turned over. It's more complicated.
Much more complicated?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Any more questions? Did we vote on this yet? Okay. All those in favor of accepting these roads into the county road system, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you, Jim. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is personnel actions. Tina Schaaf, please. Front and center.
Good afternoon. We have a resignation in the engineering department. Alan Bond, he will be leaving us Friday, the 18th.
Is there a motion to accept the resignation of Alan Bond?
So moved.
Lots of them there. Second?
Second.
Second by Magistrate Likens. Any discussion?
One is, what are we doing to replace him? I know he was a pretty valuable member of our engineering department who is stretched thin, in my opinion. So I don't know how we're going to replace him and how fast we can find someone to replace him.
I will do my best. We'll post the job, we'll
We will be taking applications?
yes.
Okay.
I understand. Thank you.
Any more questions about this? Well, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries to accept the resignation. I enjoyed working with Alan. He worked on a couple of different projects, and I found him to be, very good at what he did, so we'll miss him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve,
Yes,
Ms. Schaaf,
Tina.
Tina, could you give us an update on Jessica Nolan?
I'm sorry?
Give us an update on Jessica Nolan on related HR situation.
If you can.
Yeah, I thought we sent an email. Kevin sent an email.
Did, that's to us, not to the public.
Jessica and the baby are doing just great. They
Ruby
are.
Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations
They
to
are.
Jessica and her
Yes,
family.
absolutely, huh?
Okay, we're down to the second public comment period. I believe we have somebody coming forward, Mr. Jerry Nairk.
If the court pleases, the burn ban is still on, bluff, bottom line up front. Yesterday, for example, 5 of the 6 fire departments were actively engaged in activities ranging from partial evacuation of an extended care facility to an axle brake fire on a bus. And 2 of those departments, though, were engaged in extinguishing a small field fire. When I say small, I mean it was maybe 1 acre to 2 acres, but nonetheless, when you do 1 acre, 2 acres in a very dry situation, and it's a field fire, it gets away from you quick. And kudos to the Westport Fire Department, supported by the North Oldham Fire Department, for knocking that out quickly. Gentlemen had 3 small fires going and it happened to get away. Since October the 1st, which would have been the normal lifting of our burn restriction, and when we imposed the total burn ban, we've had that fire, plus we've had a fire in the median of I-71 in the afternoon, and then there have been half a dozen or so other fires that people have had that, in their defense, maybe had not heard that we had a total burn ban. We have the Smart 911, we have the Oldham era, we sent it to the media, it talks about on the radio. Tony Cruz and Scott Fitzgerald in the morning, one of them is married to my cousin, the other one I know real well. I call them, they put it out, but we still sometimes just can't get to everybody. So I would ask if you would please, if your constituents, they can call me, that's no problem. I'm surprised I did not get a call today. I normally have gotten one at least every day. But as soon as we get some measurable rain to dampen down that under part of the grass, then we'll lift it. I've got a pile I need to burn too.
I
So-
thought the burn ban wasn't over with until the end of October.
No, our normal burn restriction is over at the end of September.
Okay, okay.
And so this one was imposed the 1st of October, and it's been 15 days, and like I said, we've had two of them that, you know, could have been very, very bad.
And the key word you said there a while ago was measurable precipitation.
Correct.
Last weekend, Friday, whenever that occurred, my gauge showed a total of 0.2 of an inch of rain.
Yes, mine only showed about a ½ inch, yeah.
Yes, so we still haven't had enough to eliminate this
We're
problem.
supposed to get a little rain this evening,
Correct.
and then we're supposed to get a nice soaking, if they can predict that far, on the weekend.
Yeah, that nice soaking is what we were supposed to got last Friday also.
Yes,
So,
exactly, exactly. So I'll beg the court's indulgence with your constituents, if you would, please. And again, anybody can call me. I'll be more than happy to talk to them. And many do. I thank those individuals who have called me to ask first, rather than have the fire department show up. So I'll entertain any questions regarding that if you have any.
Jerry, thank you for your comments, and thank you to the fire departments of the county for being
Absolutely.
on top of this as usual. So,
Thank you for your time.
anybody else for public comment? Seeing none, we're about to wrap this meeting up. I'll go around and ask the magistrates, and Mr. Carter, I'm going to start with you. You have anything you'd like to say? No. Glad you were down there just in case, you know? So, Magistrate Likens.
Yes, sir, I had a few things to mention. I'm glad the Ironman was successful, and a lot of citizens call me, they were aggravated, and it is pretty aggravating over on Highway 42, because it's the only way we have in and out. But I guess we got through another one, so I'm glad that's finished. Want to remind the magistrates that we have our 45th CAECO conference next week. And also wanted to talk to Jim Silliman, because I'm attending a Hillcrest Homeowners Association Thursday night at 6:30, and there's a lot of drainage issues, and I don't know the precedents that we have set towards maintaining detention basins. So I would like for him, if he can, to attend that. Also, I have about a 1/4 inch thick letter from Barry Baxter and Floyd concerning those drainage easements, and I'm kind of not sure how to proceed with those without his direction. So, thank you.
Anything else? That it? Magistrate Tice.
Nothing today. Thank you.
Magistrate Harrison, please.
Thank you. I have a very important bridge announcement. For the last 3 meetings, I've announced the bridge project on Highway 1488 Oregon Creek Road that was supposed to start on October 7th. It's now been delayed to next spring because at least two important parts of the bridge, namely the beams that support it, were not delivered as scheduled. So wait a while on that one.
Do you know if they pour those and make those in Lexington?
I'm not sure where they come in from, but they're poured when they get here.
Okay. Yes, they're precast.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Magistrate Hounds.
Wait, sir.
Whoa, I'm sorry, you got more.
You ought to know I can't get
Hey.
done that quickly. By the time we meet next, many people will have already voted. This is just a reminder that is Election Day on November 5th, and this could be one of the more important voting cycles in our lifetime, so I encourage everybody, please go vote. Also, be attentive to any news that comes out on the census count that will be starting in April officially. But you need to look at what programs here in the county are funded partially by the federal government for that. It's huge. We're talking millions of dollars of benefit to the county. And it's very important that everybody be counted, especially the little kids, because normally they get left off. So to the public, anybody living under your roof should get counted. Thank you.
Anything else?
No, I'm done.
Mr. Hounds, now you.
Jerry kind of stole my thunder on the burn ban, but that is very important. We've received several phone calls and emails, and I still have it posted on my magistrate Facebook page and have gotten quite a bit of response. The word measurable rain seems to be left out. I attended the OCD board meeting yesterday, and Chief Smith and others talked about how successful the Ironman was. So that's great news. I know Measured Likens, it's an inconvenience for some of your constituents, but it's a good day to showcase our area. Echoing what Magistrate Harrison said about Election Day, I was in a meeting, I guess, last week, and I don't know how to stress this enough. You need to vote. If you want to make a change, vote. There are a lot of great candidates out there that deserve your vote. The percentage of people that voted last time, and I'll get the number wrong, Julie Barr, our clerk, would have it better, but it was not a very high percentage. And the polls are open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. They do a very good job of making sure they get people in as quickly as possible. Show up with your driver's license. I used to work the polls. I worked them for several years. And it makes the process go a lot faster if you have your driver's license already out and ready to show it, because then they can go down and make sure that they spell your name correctly. My last name being Hounds, people want to spell it a lot of different ways, and when I tell them my name, if they go to the O's, H-O, they're not going to find me. You got to go to the H-A's. So if you have your license out, it does make the process go a lot faster, and they can get you in and out of the polls. And again, if you don't know your polling location, you can call Julie Barr's office, and she'll be happy to direct you in that location. Or a comment was made the other day, ask your neighbor. If you don't, knock on your neighbor's door and ask them where they vote, and they can tell you. May give you an opportunity to say hello and meet your neighbor. Thank you.
Thank you. Magistrate Hawkins?
The Parks and Recreation have lots of upcoming events that you can check out on their website, but a couple of them are a 5-mile run, Wood Songs, and Santa coming up. And also Halloween is coming up, so stay safe and have fun. That's all I have.
Thank you. Magistrate Dye?
Yes. Kevin, could you come down here for a second? I want you to talk about those people that are in the census that are out early that I've talked to you about. I had a situation where some people came up, said they were working on the census, and the people that they came up to were people in their yards working. They were elderly people. Not that it makes a difference, but they were concerned that maybe something was going on. So you want to talk about these people already out doing things. So, because we said the census was going to start on actually, I think it was April 15th.
Right, they are out this month. There are census workers in Oldham County doing address verification. They're just verifying that the address that we gave them from our GIS matches the data that they have. They're not asking specific census questions, but they may knock on a door to verify that someone is living at that address. You can always tell it's a census worker because they have a photo ID with an expiration date with a Department of Commerce watermark on it. So it's very, very easily detectable. Just ask them for their ID if you have any questions at all. And if there's any issues with census workers, they can always let me know.
Okay, and your number is?
222-9357.
Kevin is our Deputy Judge Executive, and you're in charge of the census, right?
I'm the Complete Count Coordinator, Complete Count Committee Coordinator.
Nice title, I like that.
Yes.
But anyway, the thing is the census is very important, as Magistrate Down said, and I think that we have a situation where people may come out and get concerned, and I just want to bring that up in front of the community. Thank you.
They should be wrapping that up next couple of days, though.
Thank you, Magistrate Dye. Magistrate Logston?
I just wanted to thank you. You did a fine job as acting judge.
Well, thank you very much. The only thing I wanted to say, most everybody said everything. I was going to say vote. We will have a meeting on Election Day, but, you know, that's already at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so get out and vote. I do believe I've seen the least amount of signs in my life, and I've been here a while. Just, there doesn't seem to be much interest. I hope that is not a forecast of the turnout, but anyway. Also, starting Friday is fall break for Oldham County School System, so there won't be any school buses or kids out next week. So still be observant and keep your eyes open because they'll be back. They always are. If nobody, Michael,
I have a theory behind that.
what's that?
I think everybody knows who they're going to vote for already.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, if nobody else has got anything, I just want to thank you all for being here today. Thank you for the staff for always preparing and being ready to go, and thank you very much. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.